on the left, along with what's going on in the courthouse today. Somebody who's not laughing, but somebody who, we couldn't think of a better person to comment on this travesty of justice is the great Mike Davis, founder of the Article 3 Project, and the man responsible for Donald Trump's Supreme Court. Will trials like this end up at the Supreme Court? Well, most likely. Mike Davis joins the show. Mike, the left is engaging in a psychosexual fantasy of putting Trump in jail. It may happen. The judge just said he's gonna ponder whether putting Trump behind bars is what he's gonna do for violating the gag order. And now Democrats are actively trying to strip Donald Trump's Secret Service away. So it seems like assassination via legislation. Maybe I'm reading this wrong.
So let's look at what they're doing here. You have this Soros-funded Manhattan DA, this Democrat DA, Alvin Bragg, bring in these bogus charges against Trump based upon a legal theory that was rejected by the prior Manhattan DA, Cy Vance, the Manhattan U.S. Attorney, the Federal Election Commission, and Alvin Bragg himself, until Matthew Colangelo got deployed from the Biden Justice Department. He was a senior political appointee in the number 3 office to resurrect this zombie case against Trump based upon a bogus legal theory. This is a bookkeeping misdemeanor at best. It's not even a bookkeeping misdemeanor because there's no intent to defraud, but this is a bookkeeping misdemeanor at best that they have transformed into using federal election law and maybe state election law and maybe state tax crimes to turn into this zombie case against Trump, these 34 felonies. And they are before this Manhattan Democrat judge, Juan Merchan, who donated to President Biden in 2020 and donated to another anti-Trump group in 2020. And importantly, whose adult daughter, Lauren Merchan, is a top Democrat campaign consultant who has worked for Biden and Harris and many others. And she has raised $100 million off of this criminal prosecution, this unprecedented criminal trial over which her father is presiding. Judge Merchan clearly has to recuse under New York law, and he's refusing to do that, even after a Clinton judge, a former Clinton judge, federal judge on the Southern District of New York, went on CNN, Caitlin Collins' show on April 5th, and probably stunned Caitlin Collins by saying, yes, Judge Merchan needs to recuse under New York law. He is not recused. And what is Judge Merchan's response? What is Bragg's response? What is Matthew Colangelo's response to Trump raising this clear evidence of a biased prosecutor, a biased judge? Their response is putting this illegal, unconstitutional gag order on a criminal defendant. If there's anyone on the planet who must have the constitutional rights under the First, Sixth, and 14th Amendments to speak out against the judge, against the prosecutor, against their staffs, against the witnesses, against the process, it is a criminal defendant. And that is amplified when you have a criminal defendant who is a presidential candidate, particularly when the law system, the law enforcement, the legal system has been politicized and weaponized against this criminal defendant on so many fronts. This is so unconstitutional what they're doing. This is illegal. It's criminal what they're doing. This is a criminal conspiracy to violate President Trump's and so many others' civil rights and to interfere in the election. And right now, they're not going to face consequences. And all they care about is getting a criminal conviction before November 5th, 2024. They don't care if they get reversed on appeal. Jack Smith proved that with former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell in 2016. He got a bogus conviction of McDonnell, a likely presidential or vice presidential candidate, took him out politically. The Supreme Court reversed unanimously. It was 8-0. It would have been 9-0, but Justice Scalia passed away. It is very hard to get reversed unanimously. It is, it's just impossible for that to happen, but for the fact that Jack Smith is a buffoon, and so is Matthew Colangelo and Alvin Bragg and Fani Willis and Tish James. This is all lawfare against Trump. They only care about interfering in the election by getting a criminal conviction. They don't care if they get reversed by the Supreme Court 2 years from now.
So we've covered with great detail the insanity of this case. And the question that I have for you is, how do we stop it? Right? Like that's a strategic question, right? So it's like, do you just never live in a blue city anymore? Do you not live in a blue state anymore? Like the precedent that's being set is so horrifying. I don't know how anyone could ever live in New York any longer or ever take the Justice Department seriously ever again.
Well, the House Republicans should look. I've been saying this for 2 years that this was going to happen, right? And House Republicans have controlled the House. What the hell have they done? Where are the subpoenas? Where are the appropriations writers to cut off this lawfare and election interference? Where are the oversight hearings? Where the hell is Jim Jordan? Where is the Appropriations Committee? Why have they allowed this to happen? These are Republic-ending tactics by these Democrat prosecutors and these Democrat judges and these Democrat hellholes in New York, D.C., and Atlanta. This is driven by Biden. Biden has his fingerprints on all 4 of these criminal prosecutions. Again, Colangelo deployed from the Biden White House or the Biden Justice Department, the number 3 office in the Biden Justice Department, to resurrect Bragg's zombie case. Jonathan Sue, Biden's deputy White House counsel, waived President Trump's constitutional claim of executive privilege going back 250 years to George Washington. On behalf of Biden, Sue waived Trump's claim of executive privilege. That led to the Mar-a-Lago raid. That led to Jack Smith's 2 indictments, one for presidential records Trump is allowed to have in the office of former president under the Presidential Records Act, and another for January 6th for objecting to a presidential election, which is allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. Twisting arms politically is allowed by the First Amendment. Democrats are not in jail for objecting to Republican wins in 1968, 2000, 2004, and 2016. And the same thing down in Georgia. Fulton County DA Fannie Willis, Big Fannie, with her dumb, unqualified boyfriend, Nathan Wade, she hired, paid him $250 an hour, $700,000. She had a financial stake, an illegal financial stake. This guy is so stupid, this Nathan Wade. He actually billed the taxpayers his 2 meetings with the Biden White House, including the Biden White House counsel, 16 hours at $250 an hour before Big Fannie brought her dumb indictment against Trump for January 6th. That proves that Biden has his fingerprints on all 4 of these criminal prosecutions. This is obviously lawfare. This is obviously election interference. Where the hell are the House Republicans? Why are they funding this? Why are they allowing this to happen? Why aren't they having oversight hearings? Why aren't they cutting off their appropriations? Why aren't they doing more to stop this, right? And I'll tell you this is backfiring spectacularly on these Democrats, thanks to the Article 3 project doing over 3,000 media hits on this since the Mar-a-Lago raid 21 months ago, and constant opinion pieces in social media as the lonely voice out there going on shows like yours, Ben, to get out this message, right? There are going to be consequences when President Trump is back in the White House on January 20th, 2025. This is a criminal conspiracy by these Democrat prosecutors, these Democrat judges, these Democrat witnesses, these Democrat operatives. This is a criminal conspiracy to violate President Trump's civil rights, the civil rights of Walt Nada, the civil rights of 18 co-defendants down in Georgia. And guess what, guys? There is going to be severe legal, political, and financial consequences for this. We're not going to turn the other cheek. They can go to hell.
Yeah, good. Okay, so again, we have the clips of your comments on this show causing multiple MSNBC anchors to piss their pants. They are very, very scared of a acting attorney general, Mike Davis. I continue. We know the problem, right? It's important strategically. We know the problem. How do you prevent the problem? Now, how do you punish people for their acts here? That's the question. How would you do it, Mike?
The left today's left, they're not liberals who love America and just disagree with conservatives on the best way to get there. They're leftist, they're Marxist, they hate America. They're trying to destroy America. They hate free speech, they believe in censorship, they hate equality, they believe in equity, they hate due process, they believe in politicized and weaponized justice and Me Too presumption of guilt. They can go to hell. They need a healthy dose of their own medicine. I call it the dead chicken strategy. They don't respect reason. They only respect power. So they're going to get a healthy dose of power come January 20th, 2025.
Okay, so final question I have for you, and it's kind of the first question I asked you, but you have these clips of Jimmy Kimmel live action role playing Donald Trump getting killed in prison, right? Like they're excited about it. They're excited about it. Benny Thompson comes out and says, we're going to strip Donald. He mentions Trump. He says, we're going to take away his Secret Service. We're going to make sure we put him in jail, and we're going to take away his Secret Service. Elon Musk called it assassination via legislation, and they're being quite open about it. What happens if Donald Trump goes to prison?
If he goes to prison, our country is going to end. These are republic-ending tactics. The American people are not going to accept that Democrat prosecutors and Democrat judges and Democrat witnesses and Democrat jurors and Democrat holes like New York, D.C., and Atlanta get to decide the presidential election. They don't want to cross this Rubicon because you know what? There will be the most severe legal, political, and financial consequences they can ever imagine.
Mike, we know that you are one of the very few fighters out there, and it's remarkable because you've been the lone voice crying out about this, and you've been right. You have been right, and we never, ever go back on a promise that we've made to you. And last time you were on the program, we said we promised, one, that we would tell everyone to follow you on X, and then two, that avatar potentially needs to change. And so we've made you a new avatar for your X profile, which is actually just a photograph. I think it's a photograph that I took of you when you were working in the Senate for Chuck Grassley, and getting votes for Donald Trump's Supreme Court. And this is another one, just a potential, just one for, just a potential, got the chess piece and everything set up. I think this is you on a Saturday night back in Iowa, but it's, this is, again, like these are just photos for my iPhone roll, but would make great avatars.
I look pretty jacked there. I'll take it. So if I lost about 30 pounds and started working out again, I would look like that.
Everybody go and follow Mike, obviously, on X. Here's his account. The Article 3 Project, such an important organization and such an important vector for us to get truth out there about this lawfare. And Mike's quite literally been the first guy through the wall and the only guy through the wall on this issue. So support Mike.
Thank you, Ben.
God bless you, Mike. We'll send you those avatars. I like the one with the gold chain. I like that. I like this one. I like that. The one with the gold chain is the one I hope Mike chooses. But we're happy. This is I'm no lawyer, right? This is what we can contribute to the movement. And so if this, like, Mike is obviously a genius legal professional, and this is our contribution to the movement for Mike, obviously, and then also platforming Mike Davis.